Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stock Market Today. It's Alissa, Coram, and Ed Carson here, and on today's show, we're going to be taking a look at the charts of Alibaba as well as Best Buy and Neurocrine Biosciences. But before we do that, we need to take a look at those major indexes. So here you can see a chart of the S&P 500, and Ed, it was a strong day across the board. We had the NASDAQ up 2.4%, the S&P 500 here up 3.2%, and the Dow up 3.9%. So really just broad-based strength today.
Yeah, really broad based. As you can see, the S&P 500 got above its late April peak. So that's nice because it's been lagging a little bit. It's getting close to its 200-day line, which is that black line just above where it is now. That would be another positive. Really saw real economy stocks doing well, which is why the S&P and the Dow did better. The Moderna vaccine prospects is bullish that maybe you can get the economy opening up for real. I mean, if you can get a vaccine later in the year or early next year, then you can start talking about a full rapid recovery for the US and the world. And just other things out there making people feel more bullish about hotels, airlines, retailers, industrials, just energy. And so those sectors really led. Tech did fine. It just didn't surge like we've been seeing. It didn't lead this time, which is okay.
Exactly. Yeah, we've definitely in total seen tech outperforming quite a bit. So seeing maybe some of the laggards perking up even more so today. But let's take a look at a few individual names, starting off with Alibaba. A nice day of outperformance here for the e-commerce giant out of China, up 5.7% today. We had above average volume. Now, Alibaba, we were, about a month ago or maybe more looking for it to cross a downward sloping trend line. Couldn't quite get there, but now a powerful gap up here today with earnings just around the corner.
Yeah, so it tried to you can see that where it says 216.10, about a month ago. It just peaked above a trend line on that day. And today, well, now we're getting over there. So you could treat this as an early entry. But there are earnings coming up, which is always a concern. And the other concern is that while the relative strength line is picking up in the last week or two, it's been trending lower in the past couple of months, really. And not just with the broader market, but even with other Chinese e-commerce stocks. So that's a concern. Earnings are coming out on Friday. We have a lot of other Chinese internets coming out before then. So we'll just have to see how it goes. But yeah, it's an early entry, but it's a tricky one, especially with all the other factors going on.
Definitely. With earnings so close, we like seeing a considerable cushion heading into those reports. So definitely something for investors to weigh. And another thing, you mentioned the short-term underperformance versus its peers, but also good to point out that when you look at this over the long term, it does have that long-term leadership quality to it. So we'll have to see how earnings shake out in a couple days from now and see if it can extend those gains. And next on our list, let's take a look at Best Buy, ticker BBY. A nice breakout from a cup with handle base here for Best Buy, up 11% for the day. But this one too, earnings just around the corner, even sooner than when we're going to get Alibaba's.
Yeah, that's a concern. That's on Thursday. There was an analyst commentary saying really bullish things. Hey, their sales weren't that badly hit. A lot of good e-commerce, but definitely if the economy comes back, stores open up, and people feel confident, well, consumer discretionary stocks, or retailers and companies like that, Best Buy, your Apples, your Teslas, your Lululemons, those might do better. Now, Best Buy is breaking out here. Lululemon already broke out. You could sort of argue Chipotle is sort of in that field. It broke out. So unfortunately, it's now extended, which maybe is a good thing because it might keep people from buying it. Maybe it'll pull back, or maybe it'll form another handle or some other setup. But it's encouraging to see things other than tech, other than biotech, is sort of like a real economy situation. Obviously, it sells tech products, but still, to see some positive news on that front.
Yeah, and maybe we'll get a little color in the quarterly earnings report of maybe what they're expecting for the remainder of the year as things start opening up more in different areas of the country. And last but not least, let's take a look at Neurocrine Biosciences. Ticker there is NBIX. This one had an interesting move today, up over 6.8%, that relative strength line hitting a new high as it breaks out of this consolidation, and an interesting fundamental story here.
I'm sorry, the company has really strong earnings and really strong sales growth. It makes a drug to treat the side effect of some antipsychotic medicines. Now, it's almost a little disturbing to realize there's a really big market for the side effects of antipsychotics, but apparently there is, and really strong growth. And it almost formed a handle on a daily chart, but it didn't really, and it never didn't even come close to doing it on a weekly. So that one concern is that when you sort of run up as much as it has, that it could pull back, especially given that it's at the edge of the buy zone. But this was a powerful move. This is not really tied yet. As you can see here, it's really run up a lot in the last few weeks. So it
Hmm.
wouldn't be a surprise to see it pull back to the buy point or even below a little bit. But this is one that has great fundamentals. Some really accelerating. Not, well, no, I mean really powerful sales growth, really powerful earnings growth. So a nice biotech play that's not in the coronavirus space, sort of like Vertex Pharmaceuticals and a few others like that.
Yeah, definitely. And, another thing I think that's interesting that you were pointing to is that we're seeing these breakouts from other groups that we haven't really been seeing. And a lot of the strong stocks that were outperforming during the crash and breaking out early in the rally, well, a lot of them are now extended. So it's good to see that there are other new buying opportunities that are presenting themselves.
Yeah, and it's like not only do you need to watch the market direction and leading stocks, but you have to see if there's sector rotation or sectors come in, and
Mhm.
hopefully they'll just join a rally and the existing leaders keep on going. But there can be always have to be on the watch out for industry and sector rotation as well.
Yeah, such a good point. And a great place to really stay in step with the market and leading industry groups, of course, is IBD Live. So make sure you check that out if you haven't already. That's our daily live stream starting 10 minutes before the opening bell, running through the first hour plus of trade. And we've been highlighting a lot of these actionable stocks that are popping up on our radar, in addition to analyzing the ones that have been running up additional areas to add shares.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow.